Kendrick Lamar has swept the Grammys. Compton MC. He has significantly added to his legacy, I guess, if you could say, with his chart-topping 2024 single, Not Like Us, that wasn't on any project. And he went 5 for 5 for the year with pretty much
3, 4, 5.
You know,
Sweet.
And this LA anthem won in the categories of Best Rap Song, Best Rap Performance, Best Music Video, Record of the Year, and Song of the Year. Number one, did this shock anybody?
No.
Yes.
It didn't shock me.
It didn't shock me at all.
It shocked me that he got Record and Song of the Year. You know, I mean, there were some heavy hitters in those categories on the pop side. I thought this was going to be the time they're going to give it to, like, Sabrina Carpenter. I thought, you know, and of course, you're in the same category with Beyonce and Taylor Swift. You know, they don't let those. I mean, Beyonce took hers home. We might talk about that later, but I think Taylor Swift went home empty-handed, or maybe only got.
I think this is the first time ever.
Yeah.
The reason why it made sense to me, though, is because culturally, the cultural impact of that song was felt pretty much across the world. Even I would say America, but it was felt across the world, and it touched every genre. Every genre knows this song. Every fan of, you know what I'm saying, they know what this song is. I mean, when he got the Grammy, everybody in the crowd was singing A minor. You know what I'm saying?
It was crazy. They queued the music up so that when he was accepting it and when he like got on stage, and the way the camera looked, everybody was saying A minor in the background, which was really kind of crazy on multiple levels.
It is,
but it shows you, that goes to show you how big the record is.
Yeah.
That right there just validates how big that record is. You can't go through Instagram stories, TikToks, or anything without at some point running into Not Like Us behind something, whether it's a basketball team, a soccer, like whatever, to Terry's point. So yeah, it didn't surprise me. That record is on its own at this point.
Yeah, even still, like, just to counter what you said, Jay, like, this was one of the biggest records in recent memory. I mean, granted, we are kind of engulfed into hip hop and we are a little biased in that aspect, but I felt like dethroning somebody like Drake and then continually punching him in the chest when he's already like dying, you know, is like, it's something crazy, you know?
Yeah, this is a little stomp out.
Yeah. I mean, like, I because I do understand its overall cultural impact. I do. Yeah. Especially, you know, we talked about, you know, how we heard it everywhere from like spots where it's underground hip hop to mainstream to bar mitzvahs to people
everywhere.
You know, we heard it in places that there's really no other hip hop played. You know, but at the same time, like, I also know what that Sabrina Carpenter Espresso record is about. And please, like, those records, if you are, you know, moving in different spaces where those songs are everywhere.
You know what I think about, or what I usually use as a good gauge for a record is, you know how you go when you're watching a football game, you transition to commercial. Like, I heard Not Like Us on all the broadcasts when they got the music underneath
through the Olympics.
There you go, same thing. You know, so when they're playing a replay or whatever and they're going to commercial, it's Not Like Us. It's the bed of music underneath it. So it's literally everywhere. It's everywhere. So no, I wasn't surprised.
You know, not to take anything from Sabrina Carpenter, but I don't know what that song is. And I'm not the gauge of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nor am I.
All, hear all, but I don't even know what that song is. If I heard it one time, I'm like, oh, I heard that song before. Mm-hmm. But I have not heard that requested even as much as Not Like Us from like DJs different places.
And it's probably a huge record, but to his point, once you hear it, I probably would be like, yeah, I've heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I can't lie. When you say Sabrina Carpenter and the Grammys together, I'm thinking of The Carpenters, and I know she probably doesn't sound like The Carpenters.
Not at all. Not at all.
But that would be kind of funny.
That's why all the girls come down.
Yeah, I'm not hip to her situation, but
yeah.
But the Teddy Swim song, that was really good.
Lose Control, yeah.
Control.
That's one.
Great song.
That's one you really can't get away from either.
Yeah,
great song.
The Shabuzi song. Those are records. He went home empty-handed. I thought they were going to give him one, but I mean, it was crazy. I don't think he's won any awards for that song, but I don't think he cares because once the Billboard and the American Music Awards roll around, you got to understand those songs are 100% about metrics, and he's going to sweep everything.
Oh yeah.
That part.
Does Kendrick winning these and sweeping these Grammys for, again, it's just for a single. It's not from a record, not from an album. Is this further validation, or does this really, it being a Grammy and all this stuff, does it really matter? And you know what I mean? In the grand scheme of things, like, does this amplify it at all?
I think the Grammy piece is pushed to the back for me. I think the cultural impact and how the record moved on his own, that enhances his legacy and enhances his story. The how big the record is. Like the Grammys, we've talked about the flaws in the Grammys for years. Like we know what it is with that. So it's cool that he swept it. That's cool. But that just adds to the power of the actual record. So for me, I think the record living on its own and getting as big as it got culturally and just around the world, I think that is a feather you can put in his hat, because we hadn't seen a record like this in a long time. We'll probably talk about that too, but I think that's a badge for him right there, how big the record is.
Yeah, I think it further validates the fact that streaming had nothing to do with the relevance of this song. Granted, it did, because that's how you had to listen to it. Mm-hmm. But from a population point of view and culturally, people consume this song on a regular basis, regardless of what the algorithm did to them. Like, people was getting in their rides or going out actually pressing play on this song. Yep. That's why so many people know it. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those polarizing moments in music where everybody that's anybody, even the people that don't know nothing or listen to music, know this song. True. And can recite certain words and phrases from this song. So as far as him winning 5 in one night off of one song that wasn't featured on anything, kind of speaks to what music is nowadays too. For him to be able to drop a song that was that impactful, mind you, it came out in May or June
or something like that. Yeah.
So in that short amount of time, it was able to take off to a point and stick on people's brains to the point where it won multiple Grammys without it have to even be sold, because I think it was it was dropped on YouTube, right? Before it was actually sold as a single. Yeah, I want to say it dropped just on a YouTube as a play.
I'm pretty sure that he allowed it also to live on YouTube, content ID free for a while as well, for content creators to react to it. So
I think the first time I saw it, I saw the artwork on YouTube, to Terry's point. I think that's the first time I saw it before it hit the streaming services.
Yeah, or if I'm not mistaken. Was it an Instagram one? Because didn't one of them like only drop on Instagram or something?
Yeah, I wonder, was it Meet the Grams or the one before that?
It's the one with the got the black Air Forces. But I can't remember if that was
came after the fact.
Was that after the fact?
That's for GNX.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was he had a cover art with some black. No, it was a black glove like.
That was Watch the Party Die.
Okay, gotcha.
The black Air Forces, but that came after the fact that.
Gotcha.
No, look. This is just, if anything, Kendrick's position in hip hop and just in pop culture is completely solidified, and I think this adds to it. I was just looking at the Billboard chart. Not Like Us is still in the top 30, along with like 4 other Kendrick songs. So, and it's only going to go up after the Grammys. Like there's a good chance it'll break back into the top 20 just based on how things. There's always that Grammy bounce for certain artists.
Super Bowl.
Also, he's having the greatest week ever. He's following it up with a performance at the Super Bowl.
So, if I was Drake, I wouldn't want to be in the country either.
Come on, man.
Like I said, Kendrick is already, without this, that guy. But, to win 5 Grammys for a diss song, it was almost to the point where, I don't know if he wanted to engage in this level of pettiness, but he almost should have got on stage and thanked Drake.
He did by wearing the Canadian tuxedo.
He did do that.
Which
everything he does is so calculated.
Which I was not aware of until I saw that, and I had to Google it, and I laughed out loud when I saw that.
Yeah, he's, and what's funny too. So he's suing UMG, obviously. Well, not him, but Drake. And when he won, I don't know which exact award he won. Lucian Gray was in the audience, and he was high-fiving Dr. Dre. And this is supposed to be who was setting Drake up to win all this time.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, it's watching the fall of an empire. And I can't sit back and say that Drake can't bounce back from this, but what this done.
That was my next question.
Yeah. I don't think he can't bounce back. I don't think his relevance will be as relevant. You know what I'm saying? I think it took a lot of shimmer off his shine, so to speak.
Call me crazy, but I think Drake is going to be just fine because he's a pop star first before he's a rapper.
But people are fickle.
People are fickle, but that pop side of him, to me, is damn near Teflon.
So is Ja Rule. Ja Rule is a pop star at one point.
Nah, but Ja Rule ain't never been big as Drake.
Yeah, I mean Drake is a different type of artist.
Yeah, he ain't never been like that. I think with Drake, his pop side alone will keep him comfortable. Now, when it comes to rap and hip hop, he's going to take a hit there. that is going to hurt him. He might get up Craig on the hip hop side, but him being an international pop star, them people in Australia not worried about Kendrick.
Well, they ain't necessarily that excited about Drake either, because evidently this concert tour hasn't sold out.
I didn't know.
He
that.
also came out. I didn't know Drake is such a performer, and not necessarily saying a good performer, because his concerts to me suck. Like how he sets it up. I don't like that, man. It like just plain, and I'm just gonna walk around and do this and that. I like somebody. If you're a performer, perform. If you're gonna be a pop star, embody that. But he came out at this show with a sweatshirt, evidently, that has bullet holes in it, with smoke coming out of him.
That's
like,
cute.
like he's rising from the ashes or something.
What is it, Long?
You just got your ass beat, bro.
I mean,
Long said that's cute.
I don't know if this will. I am very curious if this will affect Drake's future at all. I kind of err on the side of it not really affecting him. To your point, Mike, only because like in the same way, like, are people really going to cancel Snoop?
No.
Like R. Kelly still has a pretty decent fan base. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He really does. I saw somebody. It was like an R. Kelly like tribute party.
No, for real.
I guarantee you, it was popping
for sure.
If he got out of jail tomorrow, his concert would probably sell out.
So I mean, I think it would take a lot, and I think Kendrick has done almost as much as any person can do to absolutely destroy one person like that. But I think he's lost his title in hip hop culture in that aspect.
That's where I'm going.
But as far as being able to drop hip hop records, I don't know if that's going to affect him.
Nope.
And I think he's still going to be able. I think he'll have a little bit of an asterisk next to his name, but I don't think it'll really affect him too much.
I somewhat agree, but in the same token, when Drake makes his comeback, because I mean, he's made it to a point in his career to where he can probably drop a dud, and he can keep doing what he's doing, and it's still going to do something. It's still going to move the needle a little bit. What he has to do in order to kind of draw people back in is awaken the hungry artist in himself, in order to make people pay attention to him again. Because the reason why I said people are fickle, because in this social media day and age, people pretty much lose themselves based on how they're perceived on social media, so to speak. But he might feel a certain type of way. I don't know how he is, but he might feel a certain type of way how people are dogging him, and he might not have that fire in him like he used to. If he can find that spark, again, even Kendrick said, I like this type of Drake that makes these type of records.
Right.
If he goes back to making those type of records and not try to be Billy Badass sticking his chest out like he can really reign at the top of the hip hop mountain, all right, he's gonna have some success with that.
I just don't think that him tapping into that. I don't know if he's past that because of how successful he can still be on the quote unquote other side. Is this enough to make him tap into that? Would be my question. Is he down bad enough to where he has to pull that part out of himself again? Because he's still going to be, to what Lone and I were discussing, he's still going to be super successful.
But he can't drop some bullshit right now. It has to move the needle. Kendrick literally just dropped a diss song against you. He baited you. You jumped into the battle. He dropped his series of songs, won an award for it, dropped a fire ass album afterwards, and is performing at the Super Bowl the week following, winning 5 Grammys after you wop. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, your rundown is accurate in terms of Kendrick. Maybe it's just me thinking that Drake's level of Teflon is just something it's hard to cut through. Maybe that's just my personal opinion.
He doesn't have anything else to fall back. I hate to make this a Kendrick and Drake conversation.
No, for sure.
It just makes sense because obviously Kendrick won these 5 awards for a diss song against him.
True. And
this has never happened before. A diss song winning an award. Granted, Drake's back to back was actually nominated for a Grammy, but it didn't win.
True.
He doubled down on this situation and won a Grammy on it, and Drake just has to get out of his own way at this point and do what he's supposed to do musically.
Look, Drake, all he has to do is go back and remember he got on and really was able to be that guy by making songs for girls. All right.
undefeated.
Being that guy, like you said, for the Billy Badass, if you will, and with the tough guy image, and that none of us believe, because there's no reason for us to believe it. Like that's you doing, quote unquote, what you think you should do in hip hop posturing,
because he studies rap battles for
But the thing is, what Drake has always been able to, because the thing is, the most streamed artist last year, even with all this, was still Drake.
Yeah,
the artist that when I see how culture moves in real time, it's not like all of a sudden people stopped liking when the Drake records came on. It's just they really got hype when They Not Like Us came on. So it's not like he got him completely out of the paint. Like it's not like Kendrick went to everybody's house and every DJ's house and erased Drake songs out of their Serato.
Yeah.
It's still, those records still have a place.
I'm still playing those out.
Yeah, exactly. So, like Drake just has to get back to doing what he knows how to do and does best. Like he needs to leave Kendrick alone. But at the same time, I think he's one of those people, he wants to be in that special, echelon of artists when they talk about Jay-Z and Nas and Biggie and then you get to J. Cole, then you get to Kendrick. Drake, you kind of on the outside looking in right now.
And he messed that up by filing his lawsuit too against
that part,
getting beat up in a rap battle.
So I'm not surprised when everybody in the building was like A minor, not only because they knew it, but like there's industry people was like, look, you're about to F it up for everybody, trying to push this forward. How do you think this works? And so, Dr. Dre and Lucian giving each other high fives when Kendrick's record comes on, that makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah. Look at Nate Jeezy. Shout out Nate Jeezy in the chat. He said, Drake and Party Next Door dropping the album in the next 10 days. I promise you it's going to be all right when that album comes out.
We'll see. We'll see. But
if it's not, I'm going to come on the show and say I was wrong.
But at the same time, like I feel like it's a different conversation. We're talking about him in the pop space, which we've always said that he's been in.
Yeah.
Yep.
That he dabbles in hip hop versus credibility in hip hop. Shouts to Nate, which is what he said. Which is, I think that's the thing. I think he's lost that. Any type of piece that he has, and I don't know if there's a redemption path for him for that
on the hip hop side.
He can go grab 21 Savage and tell 40 to get to it.
It's gonna take more than that. It's gonna take more than that.
When you see how the shifts are in culture and how quickly they happen, you just never know. Like, he don't need but one. He needs one to kick in the door, and then all of a sudden let that be. Drake has another song of the summer in him.
Yeah, I can see that. But the issue that he has is, are artists still willing to work with him on the same level that they worked with him before? Based on this situation of how pretty much Kendrick called him out, how he uses these artists to pretty much ride their wave, gets success off of that, and then moves forward. Are artists still going to pretty much allow him to do that? Or is it going to be another new artist that comes up and he kind of just nudges them, let me get on your song?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Look, if that's his steez and that's how he's been moving this whole time, there's somebody who would break their neck for a Drake feature.
Agreed.
Yeah. But then too, like Sexy Red's song, what's it, You're My Everything?
No idea.
That song came out after the beef. They actually used the BBL Drizzy beat in that song.
Right.
That song did a little something.
But that was a Sexy Red song.
But my point is, it wasn't enough.
No.
So he got on a song that was a hit, and it still was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
No,
that was cute.
Yeah, you got to do a lot better than hopping on songs with Sexy Red if you're trying to overwhelm what Kendrick did to you.
That ain't gonna get it.
Yeah, I think he the problem is he totally underestimated this situation and pretty much said. Kendrick just opened his mouth. Somebody handed him a Grammy right now. That came to bite him in his ass.
Yeah, handed him five of them.
And granted, he doesn't even have 5 total.
He's kind of right though, right?
Yeah. Well, he earned it though.
Yeah.
Kendrick just opened his mouth.
Someone gonna hand him a Grammy right now?
I just handed him 5.
Yeah. He has more Grammys off this one song than Drake has total.
Drake will re-up at them billboards though.
We'll see.